Hello there everybody, and welcome back to Space Engineers. Not as much of a drop this time. You join me for the return of the Count Up Timer. That's right, it is not a myth. I have seen it. It is right over there. I am feeling a whole lot more human than I was in the last episode, let me tell you. And we've got some contracts to complete now. I have presumably finished all of this. Let's find out. Confirm. Yes, there we go. I am rich. I am rich. I am so rich. Oh my goodness. How rich am I? I have 2.2 million credits. Time to retire. You made it to the end of the video. Congratulations and thank you. That puts you in the top 10. Also, someone did point out that the Large Grid 5504 or whatever is the name of this connector arm over here. The ship did change its name, I believe. Let's just confirm that. Yep, it is the Scarab. Now, one thing to do before we get on the way today with all of our various multitudinous plans is to head into this and change this thing to the Capri Sun. It's gotta be done. Thank you for the suggestion. It's absolutely hilarious. Then, we come over here. These lists have gotten, to put it politely, a little bit scuffed, so I think it's time to cut down some of it. I'd say we've got life support pretty much done and dusted. It's in the floor, which isn't really what I'd initially planned for, but you know what? It's good enough, right? We don't need to build this thing too big. I think right now it's a good size. It's a perfectly good size, some might say. We have definitely found ourselves a connector, so that's done and that is dusted. And we've got ourselves a grinder tool / wall, and I don't think we're going to go for the dedicated disassembler. I think we're just going to make it articulated, so that can get picked up too. Now, as for power, this is a slightly more contentious issue. We certainly have less macaroni than we did before. Wind turbines, I don't think we're going to be going for them. Solar panels are definitely the one that I'm looking at here. The cockpit is looking pretty good. I think we can pull that out. The living space needs to be done, and the industrial space definitely is probably done at this point. I would say, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say we're pretty much there. So what we need right now is just like a space for us to sit down, and then I think we've got the interior mostly done. We just kind of need the exterior of this rover. Now, things I want to add. I want to add some gyros. We definitely need those. I want to build a ramp for the little rover, which would double as an entrance point for us as well, of course. And then just to point out, someone did mention, why don't I just ride the drills back up to the ship? And you are a mad genius. You are a man of science. You deserve the Nobel Prize. Get that person to Harvard immediately. They're so right. I could just climb on top of the drills as they come up the hole, and that gets me back into the ship in an emergency. We've already got buttons down there, so we don't need the personal elevator. So, you know what? All of that was for naught. I can't cut it off. We're not allowed to engage with things here. I always forget. Alright, well, we can go ahead and we can unlock this. There we go. Pop that off, and then I think we're gonna head out of here and be on our way. Okay, now, there is an enemy base all the way down there. That is something we were supposed to take care of last episode, and I was so riddled with influenza that I was not able to cognosate sufficiently in order to perform the stated task. That is big boy talk for
I had the big dumb
and needed to undumb my brain before I could, do anything else. What I want to do now is, first things first, I want to turn on the O2 generators again. The hydrogen engines are currently running, but the O2 generators are not. So let's get them switched back on. There we go, get them producing. Okay, well, what I want to do is find myself some magnesium. There we go, magnesium, silicon, and ice. There is a bunch of it, 10Ks that way. That's where we're heading. I need magnesium because I would like to begin the combat phase of this playthrough. I want to build a little drone that we can fly over to the base and use it as like an attack thing. We're going to have like sacrificial drones. That's the big idea I've got anyway. We'll build a printer wall off the right-hand side that's kind of similar to the grinder wall, but which can swivel down and print up drones off the floor. I think that'll look super cool. And then, of course, I also want to add a ramp to the back so we can get the rover on and off. And then the Capri Sun is going to need a couple of updates as well. So, you know what, before I forget, let me go ahead and add all of that to the list. Bit of a problem. Turns out this thing does not handle dips very well. Okay. we may need to fix that. Okay, let's put the front back on. We can fix the rest of it in a second. Yeah, couple minor errors on my part there. That may have been a problem in the pilot's room for sure. Oh, gold, nice. You know what? It was all worth it in the end. No, the Capri Sun! It's dead. Oh, oh, I just noticed. Oh no! My boy. Oh, my boy. Oh, he's dead. You killed him. Dead. He was taken from us too soon. Oh, oh man. Okay. Well, no, not to fear. We will return and salvage him. Okay, come back. Don't leave me. Oh no, the pile of wheels is so tragic. Okay, we're right over some gold and silver, which I do need to mine up. If I want to recover from this particular disaster, because I don't have any medical components now. If I die, that's game. I just realized I don't have a respawn point at the moment because of my minor infractions there. Now, hopefully I'm going to be able to get deep down enough to get to that silver. I think I built these drills with enough reach, but you never know. Okay, we're not moving anymore. Well, that does resolve the how are we going to fit the Capri Sun on the ship problem. So, you know, silver lining. I do still think I want a ramp at the back here, but I guess it's kind of less pressing at the moment. Let's get this started. So drills on and mining pistons moving. Let's go ahead and get that going, and I need to slowly but surely repair this ship. Is the poop working? Nope, I removed the poop function. I forgot. Oh god, are we gonna fill up on stone here? Hold on. No, we're fine. We're gonna be fine. Okay, so the undercarriage seems to have mostly survived the incident there. I think we kind of just need to put back... Yeah, just a couple pieces should be fine. Okay, the drills... I'm just watching that count. I think the drills are going to fill up with stone before we make it all the way down to the silver. Okay, so let's reverse the pistons. Because I don't want to destroy the silver vein that we hit. Okay, the windshield might still be missing, but don't worry, insurance will get that. We have lights again. I'll have to tweak the color, and I do need to put back some of the lighting in here, but that's not overly critical right now. We can get to that later. What I need to actually do, I think, is actually put down our first programmable block of this series. Now, these are pretty amazing things that let you run scripts, which are like, how would you phrase it? These are like mods that don't show up in the mod manager, so don't worry. If you subscribe to the playlist for this and you don't see the mod, like the thing you subscribe to, it's because it's not there. Scripts are programs that other members of the community have written that you can run in your save game, and in doing so, you will then get access to certain functions and features that are not in Space Engineers normally. One of them, my personal favorite here, is the ability to build... Let's knock this off. Is the ability to... Actually, you know what? Let's just take this guy out. We don't use him. Is the ability to, like, automate how things are produced and designed in your base. I use a wonderful script called Izzy's Inventory Manager. It's absolutely fantastic. And what it does is, you know, sort of as the game's name suggests, it manages your inventory for you. Also, I see there are now event controllers, huh? Turret controller, automation timer block, automation sensor, automation programmable block. Okay, I don't know what all that is. We're going to be just using this one for now. I have never experimented with the automation blocks. Let me know if that's something you want us to check out. Might be something that's better done on like a live stream. Yay, okay, cool. There is our programmable block. In this, I'm going to chuck... I'm going to call this the Izzy PB, just so I know what it is. And we're going to edit the data. We're going to browse scripts. We're going to look for Izzy's Inventory Manager. There it is. Copy that to the editor. And then go ahead and check code. Make sure it compiles. And hit OK. Boom, and it will start running. There you go. So Izzy's Inventory Manager is now running. Lovely. So what we should see, it's currently sorting the containers. There we go. So now this one has been filtered to have ores and ingots. It's in the name of the container over there. And as you can see, Izzy's will now try its best to balance the sort of cargoes of these different things. It does allow overflow, but as you'll see, it'll also switch the refinery between different modes. So in the base game, the refinery will just refine a type of thing. I think it's alphabetical, to be completely honest. So cobalt always gets stuck at the top, and stone's always towards the end. And you kind of want it the other way around. You kind of want to be chomping through your stone if you're going to have stone. Alright, cool. So Izzy's is going to handle that, which means we can also set up production targets now for our assemblers, but we'll do that in a moment. Let me go ahead and just add that to the list so I don't forget. Because we're going to want to have a certain, like, minimum number of things for our welder arm. So we can always print a drone if we need to. Set up automation targets. There we go. Now, even though we are going to be processing that stone, I mean, the trivial amount of iron we get out of it isn't really worth the trouble, if you ask me. So I think what we're going to do is make some changes around here. Let's put in a couple of blocks here. We know... Actually, you know what? This is a good space as any to have a little bit of a living space upgrade. I know I want this to be glass-sided, this wall here. So what if we put a toilet in right over here? You got to just sneak on back there. That seems kind of fun. Yeah, let's stick a toilet in right over here. Yeah, I can go just right over there. You know what? We could make it a voyeur's experience. Hold on. Yeah, much better. There we go. A throne with a view. How's that looking? Oh, it's perfect. Oh, it's absolutely perfect. It's a little misty and dark, but other than that, it's very perfect. Okay, while we wait for Izzy's to sort out everything on here, I'm going to start putting up some more windows so that all looks nice again. Give me a second here. Alright, fantastic. The drills are being deployed again, and the windshield is sorted. Someone did mention that we should make these lights fold up and turn off during the daytime. Why? Why? We won't be doing that. No. I really hope this gets far enough down. I genuinely have no idea if it's got enough reach. If it doesn't, we'll have to just do the digging by hand, but that's not the end of the world. That being said, we can make ourselves some better tools, I think, at this point. Yeah, we can go up to elite. We got that tiny bit of platinum. If I have to make one elite anything, I want an elite welder. I think I spend more time welding than grinding, for sure. We got the grinder wall to help us out with that, after all. Can I have an elite grinder? I'd love an elite grinder if I can have one. Oh, looks like we're fine. Okay, nice. So we're going all the way up to the good stuff. Hey, lovely. And it looks like the refinery's gotten onto the scrap metal. Awesome. So I should then be able to set up this. Again, I still cannot believe that they do not have a feature in the game where it's just put your welder here and then it just gives you the best quality welder. Because right now, if I grab a worse one, if I die or something, I'll have to reset up the toolbar. It's such a minor quality of life feature. It escapes me. I do not understand. Are we stuck? Damn it. We didn't make it all the way down, did we? 54 meters still to go. Okay, no, we had no shot. All right, so for deep deposits like that, we're going to have to do it au manuel. Good to know. Okay, one more load of silver, and I'll think that's good enough, and then I'll go get some gold. I can also knock silver off the list here. We also definitely don't need silicon. We got enough from the stone. So it's gold and magnesium. That's all we need. And also to mourn our fallen brother. Rest in paprika, Capri-san. Okay, now this would be a great time to have yield modules. Quote unquote, this is where I'd put them if I had any. But we need more gold. Yeah, 2,000 gold's not going to hack it. I need about 5 to feel comfortable. Yield modules are the best all round. They slow down your refinery a little bit, I think. But the real value is that every single piece of ore just gives you so much more, like products at the end of it. So you just need to do less mining. I'm not going to have to do much more after this, to be honest. I think we're probably pretty close. Okie dokie, that should be plenty. There we go, we got 5k gold-ish. What is that? 4.5? Yeah, that'll be enough. And we know where to come back to if we need more. Let's continue heading towards that magnesium signal. That's the last piece of this puzzle. It's up over that ridge. Allegedly. The drills are retracted. Yes? Okay. Back on the road. No damage dealt. Absolutely nothing happened. Do not tell my insurer. Oh, look at that. And just en route to the magnesium, we found some magnesium. Crazy how nature do that. Okay, lovely. Now, we needed the magnesium so we could make the bullet. Now we can make the bullet. Okay, it's 40 meters down. I think there's a chance, a small one, But I think there's a chance that we might be able to actually reach that with our drills. So let's send him down and see. If not, it'll make the hole a lot closer for us, right? Definitely don't need 34,000 liters of kilograms, sorry, of poop, though. That's probably something that can go, and the gravel can probably get yoinked, too. You know what? Let's go ahead and set up the conveyor sorter again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Little mini poops. Look at that. How close are we to that magnesium? I have a feeling 40 meters is a little out of reach. I think this thing can probably plunge to like a depth of 30, which is fine, because, I mean, considering the fact that most iron deposits will be that shallow, that's mostly what this is for. It's just to pick up a ton of iron really quickly. Yeah, and that's looking like a 0% chance we're gonna get down there. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and lift this. If anyone actually knows what the actual range of a piston in Space Engineers is, like in meters, please let me know, because I have no idea. I've never really paid attention to the mechanics like that. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I think we're like 1 piston depth out of range. Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. Alright, fantastic. We've got about 30k magnesium currently sitting in the pot, which means that as far as I'm concerned, this is done. Gold and magnesium done. We have gone mining, baby. I didn't think we'd ever check everything off this list, but look at that. The only thing we're missing now is like platinum, but you can't get that on this planet, and uranium, which we're going to have to steal, which is kind of why I want to get towards that enemy base. But we have gone mining. That is to done. And look at all that space on those lists. Gorgeous. The last thing I want to do before we get to the drone design, because now we can do that, is to add gyroscopes. Also, I would say we've definitely built elevators for the two of us in that we're both dead. So that's just going to get removed. Okay, gyroscope. I want to see my gyroscope. I want to place it here. Getting a little cramped for space in this part of town, at least at this point. I think maybe we can pop out a few plates over here, put some gyroscopes in the floor. I think 3 of them will probably do the trick. Probably. I'm almost certainly wrong about that. These things are, I don't know, they're kind of a bit odd the way they work. Okay, lovely. There we go. We got some gyroscopes in the floor, and I put some catwalks down as well for good measure, just because I kind of like the way they look. Let's grab this. Let's just cover up some of that unsightly life support system. There we go. Looking a little bit more profesh. Now, with that in place, I should be able to pitch this thing up and down when controlling it. And let's look at that. We got hydraulics. Oh, the hood is gonna be jealous. Okay, now to slowly trundle our way back to the enemy base. Alright, we waddle our way up towards the enemy base. It's just over there, over the horizon. This is where we will build our empire. And I came across this thing over here. I think this is a wreck, much like that big sort of bomber ship we saw in episode 2, I want to say. But I'm just going to go ahead and slurp this up real quick. Let's have a quick look at what it's got to offer before we take it for a ride. Gatling guns. Okay, well, I mean, that's ammunition, right? I am going to just disable them. I'm worried it's going to shoot me when the grinder arm descends upon it, but that should be fine otherwise. I don't think there's anything else in here we, like, critically want or need. A control seat. Cool. Cool. But yes, we do... what, a double-hinged something. I wonder what was there. Maybe a missile launcher. Oh, no, here's the missile launchers. Okay, well, again, I'm just going to disable those so they don't blow me up. And then we'll send the arm down and grab it all. And his name is... Yeah. Okay, I think I ended up just smashing most of it, but you know what? It's the thought that counts. That's really funny. Alright, I think we'll just finish that off by hand, as it were. Where are the missiles? That's what I really want. Here we go. Yeah, that's what we need. The 3 rockets. Because 3 rockets is 3 uraniums. Yeah, look at that. We did get the ammo out of it. Excellent. And we got some more rockets. Okay, cool. So we can actually disassemble these into their constituent parts. Because, I mean, again, with Space Engineers, you can just put stuff back. So let's do that. We had 44 rockets and some autocannon magazines. And I'm interested to see what we get out of it. Yes, indeed, we do get uranium. Look at that. And a ton of magnesium back, too. And some platinum. Okay, no, I don't think we're going to be using rockets. They're a little bit too expensive for our tastes. But that's a good place to start. I would love to make, yes, railgun shots. And in order to make those, we need to use uranium. And that's one way to get it. Speaking of weapons, what do we actually have available for the small ship? We got a warfare Gatling gun, that's pretty fun. An autocannon, that is a fixed position one. Maybe that's what we go for. What size kind of block is that? Let's just have a look here. That's a small grid one. Okay, fantastic. And then the assault cannon? Also small grid. I'm assuming that shoots artillery shells. I actually don't know. Autocannon ammo. That's used in the autocannon shell. And then the assault cannon shell, I see it's its own thing. Okay, yeah, and that's also just iron, nickel, magnesium. I think maybe we want one of those on the drone. Because the Gatling guns in this game just don't do enough damage. Okay, but with the enemy base just under 2 kilometers away, I believe it is time for us to park up here and get started on this battle drone design that I've been spewing on about. Now, we're kind of lucky in some strange ways that the Capri-Sun decided to commit Sudoku because we now have a nice clean space to build on. That's actually pretty handy, I'm not gonna lie. You know what is something we're gonna want to add before we do anything else? I think that's probably a good call. Is a survival kit. I just remembered we don't actually have one at the moment, which means that if I die, this playthrough's over. And I'd rather that not be the case, to be honest. So where's a good spot to put a survival kit? There aren't many, I'll be honest with you. This should have... there's a connector at the bottom. Righto. Okay. Yeah, fuel critical. Don't just tell me all about it, why don't you? I mean, maybe we move this up a block again. The poop chute over here. You know what? Maybe we put the poop chute somewhere more permanent, because I keep having to move it. This will eventually become a ramp, so this probably isn't the best place for it. Let's pull that off. And stick it, I don't know, maybe underneath? It just drop stuff out the bottom. That is a bit more biologically accurate, I suppose. I swear one of these ends has a controller, but I think it's that way. Okay, so we'll have to put the conveyor sorter in here, right? So that's going to be sending resources this way. Then we need to drop down a couple blocks. Yes, and then we'll have to poop it out over there. Okay. Alright, nice. So now we have the sorter connector setup done correctly. So now instead of pooping out the back, it will poop down, which I think is a much better system. Nice and centralized. And maybe we could potentially dock with something down there, but I don't think that's really ever going to be that viable. Instead, what we can do is we got to put a survival kit down somewhere. And I mean, for the moment, right here is just going to have to be it. We have an embrasure. What is this? This is new. Look at that. That's new, right? When did they add that? Okay, we need 3 medical components, which is what we needed that silver for. They're being made, and we've made them. Lovely. These things over here, they are rather difficult to move around, and they require silver to make, but there we go. Oh, lovely. Okay, we have a survival kit, which means now we can respawn on this rover. That is pretty huge. Okay, cool. Let's design a drone. It needs to be small, it needs to be cheap, it needs to fit in this space right over here. And it needs to be printable by an arm that is 5 by 3 large grids wide, which I don't think will be a problem. Which means we should make it longer and thinner rather than wider. Okay, and cheap. Let's focus on that. These are meant to be sacrificial. Okay, start off by dropping that. There we go. We've got a light armor block. Now, actually, you know what? I'm going to change up the way I did this. This is how we built the rover at first. And people did make an excellent point, which is there is actually a better way to build this, which is, by the way, you can hold control and hit the number keys to change hotbars. I don't know if I ever explained that. We can actually drop the floor down one here, chuck this, what's this thing called, a rotor in there, and much like we did with the little lift I tried to build before, which I have fully given up on, we can add a small grid head here, right? And then that'll allow us to build off of this rotor, which means that as we construct things, the batteries will start charging, which is actually pretty handy. Okay, nice. There we go. We got a little platform we can now build off of pretty comfortably. You know, we can add a little bit more greeble to this, make it just look that little bit nicer. Greeble, as the kids say. I don't actually know where the word greeble comes from. It's like when you play these games and you add all these little designs, you say you greeble. It's called greebling, right? Does anyone know what the origin of that word is? That's because, like, I'm always been fascinated by linguistics, and that is just, it's such a bizarre niche thing to say. Like, it's got to be a reference to something, right? I just sort of picked it up. Alright, anyway, speaking of which, let's pick up some more blocks and get started on this design. I think we're going to want to build up to start with. And like I said, I want this thing long and I want this thing thin.
That's what she said.
It's going to need a connector to dock and sort of resupply ammunition. So, and I guess I want to be able, where do I want to dock it? So I'm going to have my welding arm apparatus come out here. We have an arm up there. I guess the docking port will probably end up right here on top of the refinery. Yeah, I think this is going to become a platform over here that we will put ships on. Okay, so it needs to fit into that space, actually, 4 by 2. Okay, cool, and that means the docking port's going to face down. It's always good to have just an idea of how you want that sort of thing to look. Oh, you know what I'm realizing? Is we actually want a conveyor sorter right over here. Yeah, so we can pull stuff through. Oh, yes, hold on, this is genius. Conveyor sorter right over there, and then we put the connector on that. Yes, this will work. And that way we can pull ammunition through this thing and have it just push its way down to the rest of the ship. Okay, then I want some reinforced tubes, and actually I want some of these to be cargo containers. Oh, hold on, it's all coming together now. 1, 2, 3, 4 cargo containers? Probably 3 is fine. I mean, these are meant to be, sacrificial. I want them cheap. We'll have a singular reinforced connector joint, and then give me a ball joint. There we go, and then give me some Gatling guns. And this is going to be the core of the drone. Ooh, that being said, do we want to use the assault cannons? Maybe 1. Maybe 3 Gatling gun, maybe 2 Gatling guns, 2 assault cannons? Yeah, why not? Oh, interesting. The assault cannon has to be front-facing? No, there's spaces on the side. Okay, well then refactor. Hold on. I like the designs coming together here. Pop that off. Give me another cargo container, TBH. Perfect. Give me that assault cannon on the front. And then put the Gatling guns on the sides. There we go. So that's going to be the center profile of our ship. Now I want a camera up front, and we're going to use the top-mounted ones. Perfect. I love these from the Warfare DLC. And I think we're going to stick that right back there. Oh, very nice. Very nice. And that'll be right above the guns. Super easy to aim. Okay, then behind that, we're going to want a little bit of armor. Just like so. And then behind that, I'm going to want that remote control block so that we can actually put the hardware. You know what? And that should be heavy armor. I'm thinking about it now, and this shouldn't be light armor. This should be heavy armor. Yeah. Let me swap all this out. We can put light armor blocks on a different tab. I'm not going to use a lot of heavy armor in this drone, but the core components, like the antenna, the stuff that makes it fly, they need to be protected. Do you know what? I might even give it a 2 block thick. We got some space to play with here. Okay, then you give me that remote control. And this needs to face this way. Face the direction of the ship. You got a camera. Okay, then I need an antenna so that I can actually speak to this thing. Nice. And then I need some batteries. What better place than right there? And then we'll need some gyroscopes. Perfect. So we'll put them on the batteries. We'll do 1, 2, 3. And that's probably ready to go. I think that's all the core systems. Then we just need thrusters and armor. And again, try to keep it cheap. Try to keep it cheap. You know what I am interested to see here is whether or not we can put these windows on this little ship. We can. It might be nice just to get a couple of bullets in front of, like a piece of bulletproof glass in front of this camera. I'm just a little bit worried that it's just going to get doinked on the second we fly near an enemy. So yeah, what if we pop that off, right? And then just build a little cage around this? I think that might be a very good idea. Just so that it's got some protection. It does add to the complexity, which is always, not the best thing, but c'est la vie, I suppose? Yeah, there we go. Just a little something like that. I like that. I like that a lot. You know what? This might be as good a place as any to chuck another pair of small batteries. Just right there up in the front. They take a pretty decent beating before they blow up, these things. So they're not exactly armor, but they certainly don't hurt. But there we go. All the core mechanics are now entombed. We do have a bit of exposed stuff at the bottom, but that's fine. You got to have weak spots, right? That's the whole thing with armor. I like the shape of it. I now just need to put the thrusters on. So let's get started on that. I would love to make this thing a VTOL, but you can't print VTOL ships because you can't print subgrids in Space Engineers without like a bunch of mods. And I'm really trying to keep this playthrough fairly mod light. So as cool as that would be, it's just not functionality that actually exists in the base game. So instead, we're going to have to, because in order to use VTOLs, you have to use rotors, which, because the things have to spin, which makes it a subgrid, which means that it doesn't work properly. So instead, we're going to have this big old standoff atmospheric thruster right over here, looking nice and goofy. Although we don't need a big one, actually. I'm thinking about it now. Maybe we can get away with just some small atmospheric thrusters. Sci-fi style, of course. My favorites. We might need 8 total, just so that this thing can hover. Because, again, there's also not really any, like, aerodynamics in Space Engineers without mods. So you can't make aeroplanes. But you can make sort of hover tanks. Which is, I guess, we're making like a hover tank speeder flyer thing here. Okay, so downward thrust is certainly taken care of. Can we just slap that sci-fi thruster on the back like this? I need steel plate first to check. Because that would be great. No, doesn't look like it's allowed. We could put it on top, but that increases the size pretty dramatically. We could build a little bridge of blocks. Like so. But now I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking I actually want that to go the other way. I would like it on top. So that I don't ever accidentally smash it into the ground. And then some heavy armor blocks to protect it from me smashing it into the ground, not from gunfire. It's probably a very good idea. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, so now we've got downwards thrust, we've got forwards thrust, we need reverse thrust, and we need side-to-side thrust. Yeah, I'm going to make the rookie mistake I see all new players make, which is I'm going to I'm going to place significantly less reverse thrust than I have forward thrust. Like, significantly less. And then wonder why braking is hard. But you know what? That's part of the joy around here. That's the entropy you're all signed up for after all. Okay, now we need lateral thrust. Not much, just enough that we can traverse if we want to. So I'm thinking we got a bit of room on the edges here. How about we slap down a couple of these? Right, on either end here. We'll make this look nice in a second, don't worry. This is still in the R&D phase. Okay, there we go. Flying brick achieved. These sci-fi ones really do just look so much better, don't they? Okay, nice. That appears to be most of it. The only thing is that I hate it, and I want it to die. So what we're going to do is the unthinkable. And we're going to move this battery up one. Yep. I know we just charged it up, but that's all just going to have to go. Okay, we're going to do it like this instead. Gyroscopes down the middle, and the thrusters sort of tucked in and battery on top. Yeah. That's the way. That's the way. Okay, lovely. That is way more compact. Yeah. I think I can design that around that a lot easier. Okay, now we put the battery on. Lovely. There we go. Okay, battery's in. Let's get that to recharge. And I think this thing's ready to fly. I just want to slap on some basic armor just so that the occasional Gatling bullet doesn't just take us out. And then I think we're ready to cook. Most of it's going to be these thin half plates. Half plates also nice because they don't deform as much. Like they don't bend and break. Because the way Space Engineers will work, right, is like these blocks will deform when they get damaged. And deformed blocks will explode when they take another hit. It's so what will happen? Sorry, let me rephrase. If I have a full square block right over here, this deforms and pushes into the space that this one was in, and then just blows up this thruster. So it's really not ideal to have these light grid large blocks next to heavy armor, because they'll deform and then damage the heavy armor. You get the idea. And voila, the termite is very much what this thing reminds me of, is ready and rocking. This was meant to be a cheap drone. It never is it? It's never cheap. Although, to be fair, it's bulky, but it's not exactly expensive to make. Most of this is just single steel plates. And then, of course, the basic components. Everything we saw me put down. The greebling is kind of just aesthetic. I kind of just, as I was building it, I was like, I want this thing to kind of match the insect theme we've got going on. And then it just sort of slowly became increasingly bulbous towards the back. And I was like, it reminds me of something, but I couldn't tell you what it is. It's basically a hover tank, this thing, which is pretty cool. Now, what we're actually going to have to do is cut said hover tank off from its supports, which means I need to find an exposed square of that battery and switch that on to auto mode. There we go. Just make sure that that's stuck, because otherwise this thing's just going to fall and hit the ground. It is currently set to auto. Yes. Okay, cool. So we should be able to just snip this. There we go. And have it continue to fly, because I need to lift it up. So now if I go into my control panel, I press O to turn on antenna. Go into control panel. Go to here we go. Go to grid, small grid, remote access, small grid. That's the one I want. There we go. Now I can fly this. So we can do something like that. And then I press F to leave it. Okay, cool. Let's grab some water, and then we're going to work on the underside. And I think I'm going to keep this as simple as it gets. This should probably be a heavy armor block, though. Just because I do tend to have several, perhaps unplanned landings from time to time. And then we just mirror the usual design aesthetic. Same one we've got here on the Scarab, where we've got these sort of like segmented blocks on the bottom. And then we'll stick some lights under there, make it look cool. Okay, but that's looking pretty good. So that is going to be, is it a woodlouse? Is it a termite? I can't decide what it reminds me of, but it's something like that, right? I just love it. I adore it. Just look at it. It's gorgeous. Okay, so it's got this like long snoot, maybe like a butterfly, and then a big old bulbous back. I'm going to add some lights to this thing, because it's an easy, cheap way to get some more aesthetic on it. And I do want to just change up some of the armor design, but we're going to snap back once that's done, and then put this thing to the test. After we blueprint it. Definitely after we blueprint it. Okay, greebly complete. We've got some lights on the bottom. Let's add some of these control panels as well, just so that I can access this thing. I use the offset spotlight over here, because I think it looks pretty cool. And we've added another camera underneath. Okay, so that's done. Which means that I now want to set up these lights. I need to use this to access these right over here. Okay, so what color do we want this thing to be? Oh, maybe like a pink. Yeah, the color of doom. Oh, hell yes. Oh, yeah. All right, and then give me some more lights over here. Man, I'm telling you, for new players, lights are the best way to add value to your design. Taking a play out of the Korean handbook on that one. They just put RGB on every structure they can get their hands on, and it looks great. Or maybe I'm just cooked, who knows. You know what? It's not purple, it's octarine. It's the color of magic. The mushroom. Oh my god, I just realized mushroom is the color of magic. It all makes sense now. Oh, the deep lore. It's available to me. Alright, so now I'm thinking, do we do purple on top as well? Or is this an exclusively bottom of the barrel kind of situation? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, for this one, I think I want the front light to be a bit more in the yellow spectrum. Let's go here. Offset spotlight, that one. Now let's get this more. I want you a little bit more in the orange to green, and we're gonna up that radius. Yeah, there we go. Okay, excellent. Cool, cool, cool. Painted in that warm glow. And then on top, I mean, am I sticking with the pink? I don't know if I'm sticking with the pink. I do kind of love it. I do kind of love it. It's a really this gross pink slug just chugging towards you. Oh man, I wonder how fast this thing is. Is it going to be a snail, or is this going to be like a centipede? You know? And we'll add some more spotlights. Put this over here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's the pestilence. Oh, it's got the colors of Nurgle. Look at it. It's hideous. I love it. Okay, now we need to set up a little docking pad for this bad boy up here. And, I mean, that's as good a place as any to slap a connector. So let's do that. You know what I'm realizing here is rather than another assembler, what I actually want here is an industrial assembler. I was going to add another assembler on top of this one to flatten this out, and I don't think that's the play. This comes from the, I want to say, Industrial Overhaul mod? Is that what that one's called? The DLC? It's the same refinery style we've got built here. But there you go. I just like the way it looks. And then you get like you get all 4 upgrade panels on the back, which is where we want them anyway. Okay, lovely. There we go. Yeah, that works. And now we've got this nifty little design space we can look at. And I believe it's even traversable, right? Well, hold on. If I flip this, I believe we can actually walk into it. So if we go like that, we'd actually be able to walk in there from the other assembler. Okay, but where are the connection points? That's the only concern. If I do that, it's not actually linked to the network, which is a minor problem. Minor problem. You know what? It's a problem we'll solve, probably, somehow. Do I really want to compromise the function of my base so that I can do... I can't even walk in there. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Does that look stupid? I feel like it looks stupid. Do I care? I feel like I don't care. Yeah, I reckon that's... Oh! Jetpack. Okay, nice. Speed and yield modules active. So now if I go into my production tab, Industrial Assembler 4 does appear on top, which is awesome. Which means I want to set this one to cooperative mode, and then we'll just interface with this guy. Okay, cool. Believe it or not, that's not actually what I was up to. We were building a little landing pad for this gent. And this actually is a great place to put a cargo container. Cargo? I sure hope it does. It's always a good idea to just have some accessible connector ports up top on these things. Okay, for now, this is just going to be a platform, plain and simple. And we're going to dock that ship. And then I guess next time we're going to have to check out its capabilities. I am flush out of time for today. Which brings me to some updates. If some of you may have missed it, but there was a community post, bit of a channel update kind of situation. I'll be writing them every month now, I suppose, or at least when it's necessary. So if you would like to know a little bit more about what's been going on behind the scenes here, if you would like to know why some things seem to be taking longer to come out than they normally would be, there's a big old explanation there. I won't bother you with it here if you don't care. The big news, though, is that we are now running V-Series on this channel, which are significantly less edited versions of the main channel series. So rather than exclusively having like just a deluge of Space Engineers content, because Magic and I will both go crazy, we're now going to spread out the variety a little bit. So if you'd like to see something a little bit different, there's a Mana Lords playthrough currently that's just sort of started up. And we're both having fun making it, so if you'd like to check that out, we both really appreciate it. And yeah, your support in all of this stuff is very much continues to be appreciated. Thank you all so much for the incredible love and time you spend just interfacing with us and our crappy content. Before we wrap up for today, I am going to take the opportunity to slap on a few more modules. We got another speed one over here. I think we might as well use it. Let's fit that right in there. And we are going to figure out the design of the back of the ship at some point, I promise. But for now, let's fly this thing up here. Where am I going to sit so I can see what's happening? You know what? Just stand on top of it. Simple as. And then we're going to have to set up the controls. And then we're done. I promise, Magic, I promise. Not available. Lies and deceit. My antenna was turned off. There we go. Control. Okay, so this thing's currently sitting on 11 minutes of juice. That is not enough juice. I may not be an expert, but that does not feel like it is enough juice. Okay, so what I want to do now is set up a lot of this stuff. So, block weapons. We'll have Gatling... let's have the assault cannons on main, Gatling guns on second. Then I want the connector to have a switch lock function there. Let's lock on. But now that does bring a problem, which is, yes, that. Yeah. Okay. Is that we... yeah. Okay, so all thrusters are going on a group. So this will be... I'm going to call this thing... For now, I'm just going to call it the drone. Okay? Okay? Don't panic. It's going to be the drone thrusters. I'm going to let you guys name it, of course. You know how this works. Okay, I don't need to see those in terminal. The drone lights can probably get put away as well. Okay, the conveyor sorter here, we're going to want to whitelist not all ammo, but very specifically the kinds of ammo we want, which are the assault cannon shells. Yes. And whatever ammo that thing take. Oh, God. Well, lock in. Lock in, son. Gatling ammo box. That's what we need. Okay. Okay, conveyor sorter. We're going to whitelist Gatling ammo box specifically. And then we want to set this thing to drain all. Well, you know what? Put the connector here. Switch lock. Put the batteries there. I want to set them to recharge on or off. Okay, cool. And that has tidied up that whole UI. Lovely. So batteries are currently on mixed. That's fine. It should reset them once we do it properly. So put the docking camera on 6. We'll put the forward camera on 3. We'll put the remote control on... I don't think we need to have control on there because we would presumably be in control, right? The one thing I do want to do is push this antenna range up. It does use way more power. But it does mean that we are able to control it from very far away if we need to. We could use these as scout ships then. Okay, so now we can go in. We can hit 7 to dock. I can set the batteries all to charge. Alright, fantastisch. So we should see them increasing rapidly in value. And yes, indeed, the number is going up. Okay, lovely. Well, that's pretty much it. Suit energy may be low, but my enthusiasm for this series certainly isn't. Let me know what you guys would like to see for the color scheme on this bad boy, and let me know what you think about the name. I would love to hear what you've got going on. By the way, what I mentioned earlier about the B series, let me just circle back to it. I'm so sorry, I got distracted. We have a B series running on the channel, which means that it's going to be sort of not the typical content we normally put out, which means that YouTube is going to crush it like a bug, which means it would be incredibly helpful to us if you would be so kind as to just check in on the channel every now and then and see what we posted. We'll probably put up a couple videos every week. Outside of just the Space Engineers content. So if you would like to see that, then please go ahead and check out the main channel. It's going to be super cool. We're doing Bannerlords at the moment. Manor-Lords, that's the one, every time. And next time, in Space Engineers, we're going to be taking on this bad boy and seeing what we can steal. The plan is to hopefully rob it of uranium, if it has any. I haven't seen a reactor, but these stations tend to have them. Nothing else will steal the batteries, right? Thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute blast playing some Space Engineers with you tonight, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers. Oh! Okay. Nothing happened. Oh, no. Oh, I was on my phone. I was texting and driving. Oh, God. Oh, well. Put that in the blooper reels. Oh, no, the wheel. The wheel. The reel running away. It's so tragic. Oh, no. I was literally on my phone. Oh, I wasn't paying attention at all, dude. All right, run it back. You made it to the end of the video. Congratulations and thank you. That puts you in the top 3% of viewers. Here's another video that YouTube thinks you're going to like, and here is a list of all the patron and channel member names. If you don't see yours on there, you can find a link down in the description where you can sign up and support this content directly. If your name is on there, well, you probably already know that, huh? So, what are you still doing here?